check out. Now, la réunion est diffusée en direct. Oui, mes amis. And we are live on YouTube. What's up, YouTube? What's up, Clubhouse? Today, we are going to dive deep into the keys to successful marketing campaigns. I was just introducing the room to Clubhouse and telling them, guys, why I did choose this subject for today. Because today, it's the 25th of March, 2022. And what's happening today is that we're having a huge conference called Growth Conference. GrowthCon is basically, if you don't know, the biggest business conference on the planet. And it's happening today, tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow. And me being in that environment, checking out those people and seeing, okay, what were they doing to actually make their marketing campaigns work? Because they sold out the room. And pretty much everybody's on virtual and on waiting list because everybody wasn't able to get in. And it's like a conference with thousands and thousands of people. So like it's pretty big. And those guys are doing certain things extremely right. And I just wanted to decompose those things and kind of give them to you in some way that you can digest them and that you can apply them for your business. Are you excited for this? If so, make sure that you stay tuned, guys, because hey, we're going to cover a lot in a shorter amount of time, reduced amount of time. Are you guys excited? Because I am. The key to successful marketing campaigns. For those who don't know me, my name is Gabriel Julié, the founder of CEO Julihey Media and Productions. My goal is to get you, your company, as many customers as you can possibly handle for as long as you want to. That's my goal and that's my purpose today and for the rest of my life. And let's get back to the subject anyway, now that you know me more, if you didn't, the key to successful marketing campaigns. So make sure that you subscribe because we do every single Friday. I've got a conference in 30 freaking minutes from now, and I'm still here, still doing the show, delivering some huge value jobs for you guys. So make sure that you take the time to subscribe, to share the room. Make sure that you get on this show every Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time because it's always going to happen. Now, let's go into the first subject of today's episode. Why almost every marketing campaign is destined to fail. Almost every one of them, because there are certain things that some people are doing well, but I see a lot of mistakes happening, and I don't want you guys to make those mistakes. And I want to make sure that you jump over those things, those common mistakes that a lot of people, marketers and business people do. So one of those mistakes is that you are promoting too late. Like you're waiting too much to start promoting your thing. I see people starting having lunch dates that are like in 1 or 2 weeks, and which is pretty crazy because that's a lot of work to deliver into 1 or 2 weeks. And plus you do not have the time to have as much impact as you really want in those 2 weeks. So one of the things that I would recommend you guys is actually to put off the date of the launch that you're promoting, the thing that you're promoting. If you're ending a campaign, let's say in 2 weeks, make sure that you have at least 1 to 2, sometimes 3 months minimum to promote something. So make sure that you report those days because that's going to help you out a lot to create more hype about the product, about the service that you're launching. Because if not, you're going to struggle a ton to make enough noise to burst through the marketplace. Now, another thing that I also see is when those guys are actually promoting, they are very conservative. Meaning they don't want to hurt anybody's feelings and, oh, I want everybody to feel nice. The problem with that is that, guys, one of the key things, if you want to actually make sure that somebody is hearing you, is that you gotta be loud. And you not only have to be loud, but you also have to make sure that the thing that you are saying loudly sticks into their head. And sometimes, and I think you know those kind of people, most of the time, the best like gurus, mentors, or people that you are following up, when oftentimes in the beginning, you didn't really like them a lot. You thought they were too loud, making too much big claims and things like that. But after some time, you learn to love them because they deliver some huge value. And I would actually recommend you guys to do the same thing. Don't try to be liked by everybody. Just do the freaking work and make sure that everybody is hearing you. Then the people that actually, your people are going to like you. And if they don't, that's fine. Actually, you can measure your success of marketing campaigns with the number of haters you create. That's pretty interesting. But hey, the more haters you got, the better. Now, another thing that you should, like a lot of people are making, a lot of mistakes, a lot of a mistake that a lot of people are making, I'm going to get it, is that they're not throwing enough hooks or big claims when they are promoting, meaning that it's also staying in a conservative way of doing things, not saying out too much, not making big enough claims because you are scared that you're not going to be able to deliver on those. The thing is, nobody's going to pay attention to you if you are not making those claims. Do you guys follow what I'm saying? Okay, because hooks and claims are extremely important. When I say something to you like headlines, big like newspapers headlines, those kinds of things, National Enquirers kind of things, those things, they are made to grab your attention, but you wouldn't pay attention to those if, the headline wasn't good. So you should throw always more hooks and more big claims all the time. Test out which one works and which one don't. But the thing is, you should always be throwing as many of them as you possibly can so you can grab the attention of the people that needs to see what you have to sell. And the last mistake I see oftentimes is made is that people are scared to get bad feedback. They don't want haters. They don't want the people that say, oh, you're like the people that are saying bad stuff. And as I kind of said before, it's actually one of the best indicators for your marketing success. Because whenever you're going to have a lot of exposures, you're going to be exposed to a lot of haters, a lot of keyboard warriors, as we like to call them. Those guys that are behind their keyboards and saying mean stuff, but whenever they're in front of you, 1 out of a million may say something to your face, but those guys are, let's say, I would say correct, because I may go a bit over the board here. But the thing is, the more of those you get, meaning that the more attention you're getting, which is excellent, and you should not be scared of having those guys typing mean stuff on your comments. Of course, if there is only mean stuff, that's a problem. But the thing is, the more of those guys you get, the more of your dream customers are also going to get. So don't be scared to get some haters. Don't let it be the thing that's actually preventing you to help out some people. Don't let it be, because you have a lot of people that are waiting for you to serve them, to lead them. Don't let a few dickheads prevent you to actually deliver the value that you are here for. So don't let them do that for you. Okay, guys, now I'm going to go into Q&A. Make sure before that I do go into Q&A, share the live stream with somebody, or ping somebody into the room on the Clubhouse, because guys, I'm going to check out some frequently asked questions that you guys are telling me to actually respond to them and make sure that you don't have to look for the answers by yourself. Now, question number 1, let me share my screen with YouTube so it's maybe easier for you guys to see. Why is my marketing not working? I always go back to those 3 things when my marketing campaigns are not working, or for my clients. Always. I go back to the hooks, the story, so the way I'm selling my products, or the offer. It's always one of those 3. Either it's the hook, meaning like what is the thing the headline that I'm saying, the 3 first, like 3 to 5 seconds of my video, like the beginning, the thing that's grabbing your attention, is it good? Then I go check out the story. Is the way I sell, the stories I'm using to actually sell my products are good or not? And then I check out the offer. Is the offer attracting enough for them to take action? It's always one of those 3. Now, question number 2. How do you structure a marketing campaign? Well, one of the things that I do is basically, one of the things that I do with my marketing campaigns is I like to make sure I structure and understand all the placements that I'm going to make. And sometimes the placements I'm going to make are like money, or they're going to be energy and time. It depends. Like, for example, money can be on a Facebook ad campaign, or energy can be on a podcast episode, and with time as well. Do you guys follow me? And one of the things that you got to understand is that whenever you're laying out your marketing campaign, you should always be like, okay, this is my dream customer. Where are the places that are going to? And then when you have a list of those places, you list out all the places, the underlying other little places that those guys are going to. For example, they like to go on blogs, websites, and in some particular kind of events in real life. Okay, then you're going to figure out, okay, in which of those categories I'm going to, in all of those categories, at least, I'm going to list all the other, like all the websites, specific websites and places that they go to, so I can actually have an idea of where I'm going to advertise my campaign. That's the way I structure my campaigns. Now, question number 3, what is the best platform to advertise on? And if I like, that's a great question to ask to a digital marketer if you want to throw them off and actually see if they're full of it or not. If they tell you one response, they are full of it. They're like running away from them. There is no one best platform for anybody. You gotta understand, okay, like let's say I'm a doctor and I give you a specific medicine even without knowing your problem, like I'm full of it, you know. I gotta make sure I understand where you come from and what actually you're trying to solve. Now, for your specific answer, you gotta understand, okay, and you can do that by yourself. You can actually understand, you have to ask yourself one question. Where is my customer paying attention? Like who is my dream customer and where are they paying attention? And you just have to put yourself in front of the place they are watching at. That's basically it. If they watch a lot of Instagram, Facebook, specific accounts on Facebook and Instagram, okay, they're already watching it. Just have to put yourself in front of them and be like, hey, what's up? And they're like, oh, that's interesting. That's basically the way you should do it. And it can be that for Facebook, Instagram, it can be that for newspapers, or whatever it is. But you got to understand, it works for every platform, every different ways to advertise. But you got to understand where you should advertise first. That's the key. Now, do you guys find that valuable? If so, make sure you share somebody this live stream too, and that you ping somebody into the room on Clubhouse, because we are not finished yet. I'm going to share some more mistakes that I see a lot of people are doing, and I don't want you guys to do the same. So I'm going to share with you the top three mistakes to avoid when making a marketing campaign. There are tons, but I want to make sure that you do not do the top 3. And I'm going to share with you a bonus one, so stay until the end if you want to see that. Number 1, you're not promoting enough. What does that mean? Not promoting enough mean that, hey, you're not always on Instagram live, talking to somebody, making an interview. Did you know that? I don't remember exactly each book. I think it's Money Master the Game, but did you know that Tony Robbins, I believe in 2 months, he did like 300 interviews for one launch, one book? That's the amount of action you should take in order to promote your products and services. You should make sure that you are promoting it like 100% of the time and as much as you possibly can. Whether it's investing like resources, time, energy, or money, you should invest as much of it to get as much results out as possible. Number 2, you are not being in a prolific zone, meaning that the angle you are trying to, the angle you are promoting your product, your offer at, is not something that's interesting or sexy enough for them to buy. And I'm talking about the prolific zone right here. So the prolific zone is a concept specifically, I already talked about it, but basically you have the mainstream in the middle. All right, I'm going to put my camera on. That would make more sense. So imagine a curve actually. In the middle, you've got the mainstream, okay? And in the 2 other extremes, you've got what's like, you know, the extremes, basically, the things that you don't want to do. And what the prolific zone is basically the perfect middle between the mainstream and the extreme. Meaning that if you're trying to sell something that is with a marketing message that's too extreme, you're not going to sell anything because people are not going to believe in your offer that you're doing. But if you do something in the mainstream, which is basically something that you can learn, that everybody knows, well, you're not like, people are like, okay, I already know that, like, I don't need it. But if you're just right in the middle, something that's just crazy enough so they can believe it, but crazy enough so they're like, oh, that's different, that's new. That's the prolific zone. So always try, and it's not like, oh, my product doesn't have that. It's just about the angle you attack it, the angle you're promoting it. It's not like specific products are like possible to promote it that way. No. It's just about finding the angle you can promote it with that idea in mind, the prolific zone. Do you guys follow me? Great. Let's go into number 3. Let me share with you my screen. Now, this one is actually really important because if you are doing this mistake You can have a perfect marketing campaign, but if you do that mistake, well, you're not going to see any results. You are taking no more levels of actions, meaning that you are here trying to do just enough to make sure that your marketing campaign works. And it doesn't work that way. You should always do more than what you think is enough. Always, especially in the world like we're living today, attention is the biggest tool, the biggest thing that we need to have. Currency is the word I was looking for. Because everybody is looking at our attention. Like, for example, I don't know, like something is in the background moving, and that's caught my attention. I've got ads that are caught my attention. I've got my dog that's barking that's caught my attention. Everything on this planet is asking for your attention. And the more we go into the digital world, the more it's going to be that, because the more people want to grab your attention. So you got to make sure that you understand that this is a war for attention. And in order to win that, it's about making sure you are omnipresent everywhere, on the faces, everywhere. So they have no other choices, but they look at you and remember you. But if you're not omnipresent, nobody's going to remember you. Now, bonus tip. Excited about the bonus tip? I'm as well. And the bonus is having a launch date that is too soon. And I already talked about that. If you are promoting like really hard your product, but the launch is like in 1 week and you have all that work to do in just 1 week, it's going to be really hard for you to create enough momentum and hype to see substantial results. So what I would advise you to do is to push up the launch date, make sure it's later so you can have more time to build up that hype. That's going to duplicate the effect of you making that marketing campaign working. Do you guys follow me? If so, make sure that before we go into the next step of today's show, make sure to share the stream, ping somebody into the room, because we are not done yet. Not done yet, my friends. We still have the meat of today's episode. And what do I call the meat? Well, guys, there is one thing that I really love and I really appreciate to share with you, and those are processes. What do I mean by that? Processes are actionable, meaning that I can give you a concept, an idea, and you kind of have to, understand how to apply for yourself. But with processes, you basically follow the step-by-step checklist and you're done. So that's what I always like to deliver to you guys. So let me share with you what I mean by that. Here is my step-by-step weird marketing campaign method that generates crazy results. And it's extremely simple, but it's really counterintuitive because it's actually, pretty simple. And people are trying to make things complicated. The problem is that we have too much of that, and simple works for a reason. Let me show you what I mean by that. Number one step of this process is that you got to plan your launch in 2 to 3 months minimum. Push up the launch date so you have more time to build some hype. The more hype, the better. Now, step number 2, you got to gather all the best platforms to promote your offer. Meaning, you identify, okay, here is my dream customer. I know what they want, and I know how to sell it to them. Now, step number 2, actually going to understand, hey, where are those guys looking at, paying attention at? And I'm just going to put myself in front of their faces. Let's say they look at a lot of Instagram profiles about, I don't know, cooking, for example. Then you identify, okay, and that's actually step number 3. So I'm going to share that with you guys right now. Identify who the leaders of those platforms are. Meaning that, okay, I know they're looking at cooking accounts on Instagram for some reasons. And what you're going to do with that data in mind is like, okay, what are all the cooking accounts that are having the audience I'm looking to advertise to? Okay, I'm going to list them out, and I'm going to make sure I've got all of them so I can directly advertise and talk to them, because they're already watching there. Do not try to make them look in another way. They're already watching somewhere. You just have to put yourself in front of their eyes. That's the most important thing. That's the biggest mistake that I see people are doing in their marketing, is they're trying to shift the attention of the traffic. And it's not what you have to do. They're already paying attention to certain things. And your job to have a successful marketing campaign is to make sure that you identify which of those things are and where they're paying attention, what are they paying attention to, and where are they looking at? And you just have to use that, put yourself in front of it, and you're done. That's the key. Understand that. This is not complicated. This is simple. That's why it's counterintuitive. But identify the leaders of those platforms so you can actually make sure that you know, okay, those guys are right here. They own those accounts talking about cooking. I know that my audience is watching there. I'm going to make a ton of sale. But one of the other things that you got to understand when you're doing that is that you got to dig your well before you're thirsty, meaning that when you identify those accounts, if you're doing some more like, relationship building, because let's say those guys have a big account on Instagram about cooking, and you want to advertise on their platforms, the key is that you got to dig your well before you're thirsty, meaning that you're not going to them like, hey, like I've got a lunch in 2 weeks, can you promote my product? That's going to, not have a high success rate, I would say, if you use that method. So make sure that you start building relationship with those guys. Make sure that they see that you are special, that you bring some value to them, so they can give you the permission to talk to their audiences. All right. So that's pretty important. Dig your well before you're thirsty. Now, next thing that you got to do, step number 4, and that's the last step. Yeah, it's pretty simple, but not easy, because this step is actually the key factor of your success. You got to promote 10 times more than what you think you should be doing. We are living in a day and age that attention is the biggest currency that we have to have. Like, a ton of things are asking for your attention, and most of them are pretty bad for you. And one of the things that you got to understand is that it's the same story for your customer, and you got to be omnipresent. You got to make sure that if you think, oh, this is just enough, I should be doing 10 times more to actually get all the attention I'm willing to have. You're thinking about doing 10 ads on Facebook? Okay, do 100. You're thinking about making 5 podcast interviews? Okay, make 50. Yes, you should go that hardcore at it, because that's the only way you're going to be able to see some success, by going more and more and more. And if you aim for the moon, you're at least going to end up in the star. No, I don't know if that's the exact way to say that thing, but hey, you got the idea. But one thing that I want you to do is to actually apply the process. So check out this thing, gabrieljulié.com/action plans, so you can actually make sure you apply this process. I put out the process each week that you guys can apply. This is totally free. It's just a way for you to make sure that you apply it, a specific checklist, so you can use it for you and apply this process ASAP. Now, go to gabrieljulié.com/action plan. Did you guys like what I just shared with you? If so, stay tuned, because we're going to recap what we just talked about, so you guys can apply for the things that we talked about today. Number 1, your only goal to make your marketing successfully is to promote all the time. Always be shouting about what you're doing. Don't be scared about it. If you're scared about getting bad attention, that's actually what you should be looking for, because the more bad attention you got, not the bad attention, but the more haters you get from those marketing campaigns, the better actually the marketing campaign is, because it's getting attention. And when you're getting attention, people don't like it, because, oh, I want to have attention, but they don't have it. So they're casting away their hate towards you, but it only did affect you because you're doing a great job. Number 2, let me share with you my screen so you can see it. If you think you're promoting enough, promote 10 times more. Make sure that you do that, because that's the only determining factor. Even if you do total bull crap, like even if you're not doing a great job at marketing, if you just act more than the rest of your industry, you are going to win. You don't have to know everything, because doing 10 times more than the other is actually going to, because you're not stupid, you're going to do the things that work the best. It's actually going to help you to figure out what's working, and plus you're going to be more remembered than the rest of the people. Then you just have to figure out what works, but start with having more activity than everybody else. Last thing, add more time to your campaign to build your more hype. That's a big, huge thing. Make sure that you're not making lunches like 1 or 2 weeks out, because you're going to fail. Do them with at least 1 to 3 months, so you can have some time to build up some hype. Guys, make sure that you go and you check out the weekly action plan, new framework every week, because we do this every day, every Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Guys, now, GabrielJulié.com/action plan. It was it for today. I see you on the next episode next week, next Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so you can get your marketing needs completed, actually. Yes, apply some stuff, because that's the key. Be great, guys. Have a nice day, and I see